Good evening, dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am Kirtana, your Sergeant at Arms, and I am pleased to welcome you all here to this meeting. And I am so glad you all could make it here. Please have a note on the words you speak, because each word you speak may impact people differently. Please put your phones on silent so that meanwhile, please avoid the central line when you're trying to reach the stage, because there's a recording going on. And please do applaud whenever required to all our role takers and speakers, because it's important to encourage. Have you ever forgotten something important while going to a particular place? Have you?
Yeah.
Very important something. It is required for that day. Have you?
Yeah.
It happened to me about around 4:45 today before coming to this meeting. For the first time, I forgot the cupboard key. Well, you know what that's going to mean, right? I won't be able to write a board or set up this place. I only realized that when I was halfway to this place. I said to the auto driver, because it was raining, we had to come by an auto. I told him, "Sir, he must forgive me. Can you please stop?" And he stopped. I said, "Please help me. I have to go back and I have to get the key. That's very important." He didn't take seconds to say, "Yes, I will help you." I was so lucky for believing in him that he could help me. And it is true that when you believe in someone, their confidence rises and they also help others. I was very lucky. I went back and I came well. Brief run. I had a beautiful shower as well. It was pretty refreshing. So this is what happens when you're a little late or when you're tensed. All I have to say is, from today's experience, helping hands are better than trained lips, which is completely true, and I agree to it. If that man had not agreed, I don't know what time I would have reached here. Because being the Sergeant at Arms, I have to be here earlier than everybody and set up a place for you all. I'm thankful to him. We have a person in our club who is also very reliable and a good person. He's a marathoner and he loves marathons. Once, when he was having this marathon race, he met someone and they had a conversation. And they started running. To 8 kilometers, the other person who was with this person, he was a beginner. So they were talking and conversing on how to go and where to go. They were talking about rules and everything. After 8 kilometers, they had to part ways. This person had a gel which would energize readily. When you take that gel, it gives you instant energy to run further. He was hesitant to tell it to that beginner, and later he continued after they parted ways. He didn't turn back. He said, "I felt very guilty for doing that." And now, whenever he runs a marathon, he said, "I do it because I want to help somebody every time I run, so that I can teach them what it is." And he is none other than our President, Srijit Kilakir.
Thank you so much, Kirtana, for the heartwarming introduction. In this chill weather, it is really required. Dear Toastmasters and dear guests, a very good evening to each one of you.
Good evening.
A hearty welcome to all of you to Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I hope you all had a wonderful week, wonderful time, and wonderful celebration time. Right? This week we had Dasara and we are celebrating Vijayadashami. So I hope you all had wonderful time. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Now I declare the meeting number 1294 open. I can see few guests here. I request them to please stand up and just introduce yourself, your name and what you do. Quick, yeah.
Myself Ceci Jose. I was once a part of Toastmasters Club long back. And this is Jose Paul. I'm a lecturer, teach chemistry.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming.
I am Bhavani Balaji and I am a first year law student in Bangalore Institute of Legal Studies and I am a speech crafter, so I come from Malaysia.
Thank you, thank you.
My name is Martin Jose. I'm doing my MSc in physics from IIT Kharagpur and in my third year currently.
Thank you, Martin.
I am Justin Jose. I'm in 9th. I came along with my father.
Thank you so much. We should give an extra clap for Jose Paul for doing all these family activities. Thank you. Now I request our secretary, Toastmaster Preeti, to read out the previous minutes of meeting, please.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Happy festivities. Meeting number 1293 created ripples in the minds of Bangalore Toastmasters. Thanks to Toastmaster Percy who took us through the art and science of evaluation. Meeting strength was a roaring 59. Associate Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Chetna Rajendra started the meeting bang on time, and President led us on how developing little atomic habits saved him the trouble of everyday life. The theme of the day, atomic habits, was well stressed by all the role takers and the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Manikandan. Toastmaster Manikandan went a step ahead with his story of Pichu and compounding interest. He seamlessly blended the whole session to precision with the help of his Kaggle team. Our speaker, Toastmaster Nazneen Synergy, and Toastmaster Robinson Sir's energy behind inspiring the audience so effortlessly was commendable. The word of the week was edifice. The whole edifice of DTM Teresa Ma'am's speech rested on the power of humor in impromptu speech, which she delivered flawlessly. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, and it was well served by our evaluators, General Evaluator DTM Prakash Kamankar sir, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, Toastmaster Vivek, and Toastmaster Alec. The shining stars of the meeting number 1293 were Taggle team player Toastmaster Abhirama KS, role taker DTM Prakash Kamankar sir, evaluator Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, speaker Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti, for presenting the minutes of meeting exceptionally well. Are there any amendments? No. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that. How many of you are confident that if you are in trouble or if you have a problem, there are some people to help you, or at least someone is there to help you? Then I am telling you, you can consider yourself one of the most fortunate person in this world. Because outside this world, there are millions of people, they don't have even anyone to help them. Recently, I came across a news that happened in Kerala, a so-called Godson country. There a 24-year-old girl who committed suicide. She was married just 1 year back. During the investigation, it was revealed that she was tortured brutally in her husband's house. She had to undergo extreme harassment by her husband and their relative in the name of dowry. Police arrested her husband, and the major evidence against him was the messages, the audio clips, and the photos which she had shared with her friends and relatives. Now you don't imagine they are a very poor family or uneducated family. No, they are middle class family, and she was a doctor in Ayurvedic medicine, and her husband was a motor vehicle inspector. Still, so as a common man, if I see it from a distance, because I don't know what exactly would have happened there. If someone would have taken that courage or confidence to help her, I believe she wouldn't have done that, or she wouldn't have committed suicide. Since she had shared this message with her friends and relatives, they all knew what she was going through. Isn't it? If one person, maybe her friends or relative or maybe her parents would have asked her, if you don't want to continue this relationship, come back home. But I am not sure what stopped them to do that. Again, what I assume is maybe the fear of others' opinion. What people will say, what the society will say if she come back home, what they will talk about our family. Maybe because fear of others' opinion is again one of the most fears in this world. Right. But in Toastmasters, it's all the other way around, isn't it? Here we don't hesitate anyone to help, isn't it?
Yes.
I still remember my starting days in Toastmasters. For some reason, my mentor, she couldn't renew for the next term. So I didn't know what to do. So as you all know, I was very shy, I was introvert, and I was very hesitant to ask for or reach out to anybody for help. So that time this person came to me. Hey Srijit, I loved your icebreaker speech. When are you going to give your next speech? I told him I am not sure because I don't have a mentor now. I don't know how to go about it. Instantly he told me, don't worry man, we will work together. I will help you out. And from there, next 2 to 3 speeches, he mentored me, he helped me, and he pushed me for that. And still I believe, I strongly believe, because of him, or if he was not there during those periods, I might have dropped out from this journey very long back. By the way, his name is Toastmaster Varun Dev. Few of them may be knowing him. Yeah. So don't miss the opportunity to help others. Helping one person may not change the world, but it surely change the world for that person. With that note, I would like to introduce the next person coming on stage. He is a convicted Toastmaster. He is a mechanical engineer and he is working for Airbus. He is a hard worker and he loves to read autobiographies. And by the way, he is one of the coordinators of our current speechcraft sessions. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome Toastmaster George as our TMO. Helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the world of one person. I can repeat, helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could change the world of one person. Good evening, Toastmasters and my fellow dear guests. Good evening. It's my privilege and honor to heartily welcome you for today's meeting of our club. On 12th April this year, COVID wave 2 struck me. Always I used to hear this in the media, in the news. But this time, I was one of the count of the total statistics for the April month for India. As a protocol, I isolated myself in home. But unfortunately, without my notice, I had transmitted this virus to my mother, my wife, and later my child. During the same time, my father-in-law, who stays in Rajajinagar, also got infected. And in April 16, just after 4 days I got infected, he could not cope up and he got expired. It was very much shocking news for all of us. And much more than, I was not in a position to console my wife, and that was much pathetic situation. So, later on, the funeral also, due to COVID protocol, myself and my wife could not attend. It was very horrible situation for all of us. But by God's grace, later, all we got healed. During that time, my mentor, the day when I got infected, he was continuously in touch with me, who is Toastmaster Robinson sir, who is beyond our mentor and mentee relationship. He used to call me every day. He used to share his testimony, how he got infected, how he got recovered, and he used to strengthen me. Out of many incidents, one of the incidents I would like to share with you all. On the April month, when my mother got infected, she had a breathing issue because her oxygen level has come down below 80. Then I contacted Robinson sir. He guided me with the oxygen cylinder person's contact details and also the person of the medical persons who can help me out. And moreover, at that point of time, I wanted someone who can strengthen me and give me courage. And that my mentor did very well. He uplifted my spirit. And later on, we all got recovered. I heartily share my gratitude to Robinson sir for this. No words can express that, and I am much owed to him. Thank you, sir. So, why I am sharing this testimony today? The reason here is because this testimony best fits for today's theme, the confidence to help another. He came forward to help in any situation. I not only contact him for my communication or leadership skills, but anything I contact him because I have confidence that he will help me. So I think we should also have this virtue to get the confidence of other people that we will help them. And that during this COVID time, many people are looking for desperately for such helps. So, similarly,
the same theme, the confidence to help another, is linked to another great legend, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. He looked into the very need of the people to build the public speaking skills, the leadership skills, and help them to change their courage to build their new skills. When he started in October 1924. He relentlessly, tirelessly, and passionately worked to change this, to work on these areas, to build the people on these skills. And we can see the efforts, the fruits of his efforts. We have around 16,600 clubs in 143 countries, and we have around 3,57,000 members. So we have a very good testimony around this thing, right? So with this, I move forward. For the benefit of guests, I would like to explain the structure of today's meeting. Overall, the Toastmaster meeting is divided into three main sections. The first is prepared speech, where the pre-assigned member will give his speech as per his pathway and the project. The second is most interesting section, that's impromptu speech, where the people are challenged to think and speak on the feet. So, third is the final round, is the evaluation round, where the general evaluator and his team will evaluate the complete and also all the speeches. So, now I would like to introduce our general evaluator for today's meeting. He is a career coach. He is author of upcoming book titled How to Take Your Career from Average to Unstoppable, which will be released by this year. He is also releasing the latest podcast show, the name Lalit Dhanush Show, where he includes different career fields in all the segments to inspire people with their life stories. When I asked him on the take on his confidence to help another, he given a very beautiful insight. So he mentioned that if you help yourself, you can help everybody around you. And also quoted, the only way you can fill other people's cup by filling your own cup. And this is a quote he truly believes in. So I welcome Distinguished Toastmaster Lalit Dhanush on the stage to introduce his role in our career.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster George. It's been a real pleasure to walk on the stage one more time. The last time I did this was about, I think, 6 months ago. So first of all, I would like to give all of you sitting here a huge round of applause. Before I explain my role, I want to explain to you the Toastmaster spirit. This is true Toastmaster spirit because even if the heavens open up and pour, I still think nobody can stop a Toastmaster if you make your mind up. And I must acknowledge each and every one of you who've shown up today. This truly speaks about your personality and your Toastmaster in you. So a round of applause. Today, as the general evaluator, it's my duty to make note of the meeting from start to finish. And even though we have a few role takers who have not shown up, it's absolutely fine. For everybody who's here, I expect you to go on to give your best possible shot, and I will be presenting my meeting towards the end of this meeting. To help me with this entire process, I have a wonderful tag team. The first one is our timer, Sanjana. Can you read out your guidelines, please?
As the timer, it is my duty to time and record the duration of the entire meeting and its individual parts. For today's meeting, the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes in duration. At 5 minutes, I'll hold up the green card, and 6 minutes the yellow card, and 7 minutes the red card. Table topic speeches are from 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll hold up the green card. At 1.5, I'll hold up the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I'll hold up the red card. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report to the general evaluator and submit it to the club secretary in order to become part of a permanent record.
Thank you so much, Timer Sanjana. Round of applause for her. A next, a perfect example for our word of the day, sanguine. Our counter for today, Toastmaster Robinson sir.
Sir, please.
Fine.
No, I'm not right. Thank you. Let me explain to you my role. I've been listening what's happening here. Kirtana used two words, and when they were not necessary. Suraj, you are very comfortable with so 4 times. Twice. After funeral also was not necessary. The efforts, fruits of his efforts, you repeated. Upcoming you said twice, and Lalit you so. What's happening? This is, for this purpose I am here. People without knowing, without realizing, use crutch words, filler words, repeat certain words, then repeat words, phrases, etc. My job today is to note those words and bring them to the notice of the particular speakers. I am not here to find out mistakes. We are learning. My job is to help you learn. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Robinson sir. Up next, as the grammarian, we have Toastmaster Nazneen. Can you please spell out your role?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
As a grammarian, there are 3 parts that I play: reading, listening, and reading. I'll start with reading. I will be noting down the good usage of words. Also, note down not so good usage of words and vocabulary. The word of the day is sanguine. The meaning of the word is optimistic, as all of us are doing this reading. When, at times, where it is a difficult situation, which we face today. A great example would be Bangalore Toastmasters members are sanguine souls. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day. I will also come back to my listening skills and present my report to the general election. Thank you so much.
And the final role taker that will be helping me in my job is the listener. Can we have Dr. Mohan Kumar read out your role?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today my role is listener. One minute, just I want to read what is. So just the important sentences and the words which the speaker gives. I will come back to you after the meeting and I will ask the question. You can please tell who was the. Thank you.
Thank you so much, role takers. Dr. Mohan, you also remind me of my principal from school. On that note, I will be coming back towards the end of the meeting to give feedback to my evaluators and to all the role takers. Thank you so much, BTMC, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Lalit, for explaining clearly the role and your team. Also, thank you, Robinson sir, for mentioning, because the same complaint is with my wife. My wife is more jealous about soul name because I repeat more than her name, so I'm consciously working on that. Okay, so moving to the next first speaker. Before I call upon him on the stage, I would request his evaluator, our Toastmaster Alan Arana, to share the speech guideline.
The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. More importantly, the purpose is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. Timer, please note the time allocated is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adam. So the first speaker is a digital marketing trainer and consultant helping business and individual establish their online presence. His favorite quote: "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great," by Zig Ziglar. When asked about his takeaway on the theme, today's theme, he mentioned, "Helping others is the only way to succeed in life." And again, quoting from Zig Ziglar, "You'll get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what you want." Yeah. So I welcome Toastmaster Manjunath for his speech. He has not mentioned, he kept it on suspense and finger crossed. So welcome on board.
There's something common between you and me. We all want to be better communicators, better leaders, don't we? That's why we are here. Today, I'm going to share with you 2 great tips that can make you a better communicating version of yourself. You already have it in you. The sanguine approach. You already have it in you. So I'm going to help you discover that even better. Would that be of interest to you? Please raise your hand if you're interested in learning those 2 tips to become a better communicating version of yourself. Thank you. Great. So, there are 4 major communication styles. And when I went through this project, I learned about 2 dominant ones for me. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay? The first one out of the 2 is called initiating. And the second one is called supportive. Those are my top 2 dominant communication styles. September 11th was my 10th wedding anniversary last month. And my wife obviously wanted something big to have fun and all that, but I couldn't because there was a weekend workshop. The entire day I was training people on digital marketing. So I had to make up for that. So a couple of days later, on September 13th, we decided to go to a resort. Okay, it's called Bhimeshwar. It's about 100 kilometers here from Bangalore. It's beautiful, okay, amidst the forest and river. So we went there. Now that was an adventure camp. We had to do a bunch of adventure activities. The personnel came, they gave us those safety gears, hooked it up and all that, and we had to climb a tree. Okay? And we had about 10 fellow participants there in that adventure camp, trying these adventure activities. Each was looking at another, who's going to start first. I didn't even think twice. I'm not bragging, this is the truth. I just walked up, grabbed the rope, and started climbing the tree. Maybe I was a monkey in my previous life. Anyway, I climbed there. I had a great fun climbing and doing all those activities. There was a zip line, 400-meter zip line. It was awesome. Okay, so if you haven't been there, please go check it out. I'm not promoting them. It's a great place if you want to check out adventure activities in Bhimeshwar. Now, after that event, after the adventure activities, we had a nice barbecue and then a dinner. Okay, these 10 fellow participants were also there. Immediately invited them, and they all joined me and my family for the dinner. It was fun. I was enthusiastic, and I hope they were enthusiastic and energetic as I was. It was great fun really having that conversation with each one of them, those 10 people. And believe it or not, by the end of that dinner, I actually had a digital marketing consultant gig. That was the icing on the cake. I actually got to be at the end of that dinner. So when I went through this project about the different communication styles, like I told you, 2 dominant ones, I'm talking about the first one. So let's talk 2 parts. The first part is initiating. Now, initiating communicator is a person who is sociable, who's interacting with people. who's enthusiastic, who's energetic, fun-loving, and a little impulsive. So, hopefully, my experience at the resort established that fact. So when I spoke to these guys, I learned so much about them. We learned about our childhood, where we were from, and all of that, that gave me insights into other people's lives, which was terrific, right? We learned about other people's lives, and that was great. So the positive side of this communication style number one, which is initiating, is that we, as initiative communicators, can come across, from people's perspective, we could come across as self-assured, okay, enthusiastic, and decisive, okay, and fun-loving, and all of that, and persuasive. No wonder I got that business deal right at the end of the dinner. What is the downside of this style of communication? The downside of this style of communication is that we could come across as impulsive. We could make decisions just like that without thinking much. That's one of the downsides of initiating communicator. Okay. So now that we're clear about initiating communicator, let's talk about the second one, which is supportive. I remember this very vividly. 2004. I was working with this American company selling internet services. I was promoted as a subject matter expert. We used to call that Consultant Support Specialist, CSS. Fancy name, but it's just a subject matter expert. I would have a team of 20 people, and they would be taking these calls, selling internet services to Americans. And sometimes the customer would have questions that these people wouldn't have an answer to. Guess who they would approach? That's me, right? The subject matter expert. Now, what I learned as a supportive communicator is that I should be an active listener first, because I have to understand what the customer's problem is, which is coming through my consultant, the representative. I have to be calm. I have to analyze the situation. I need to be resourceful and give an accurate solution. Now, those are the skills that a supportive communicator must have and will have. Okay, that could be your characteristic as well. Now, over a decade later, 2021, and for the last 6 years I've been teaching and training people digital marketing from across the world, those skills have helped me really, really well. I try my best to actively listen. I remain calm. I try to figure out what the problem is and I solve problems. Forget about me. There is this amazing mentor. One of my mentors, his name is TJ Walker from MediaTrainingWorldwide.com. It's possible that you've heard of him. He's in the US. I took one of his courses on Udemy, started to learn about public speaking and media and communication, presenting. Excellent guy. You should check him out. MediaTrainingWorldwide.com. Just go to Google, search for media training. Search for media training. His website will be in the top 10. Why do I know that? Because I designed that website and I marketed that. So, again, please don't think I'm bragging. I'm a marketer by heart. So I have to do these shameless plugs at times. So please bear with me. Anyway, this guy goes to Facebook, community, and all kinds of places. And there are people from all around the world that are giving speeches. This guy evaluates and gives personalized feedback. I love him for that. How many people can really do that? Thousands of people giving their speeches, and this guy evaluates and gives feedback. That's what a supportive communicator does. A supportive communicator calmly listens, remains patient, and solves problems and helps people succeed in life. All right, so now that you know, we've learned about the initiating communicator, we've learned about the supportive communicator. What are some of the negatives, some of the areas of improvement as a supportive communicator? Supportive communicators sometimes dislike change. They do not like change very much. And number two, they can be coming across as indecisive. So those are the negative shades of those supportive communicators. So here are the 2 tips that I promised you. At the end of this speech, you should get 2 tips, right? Number 1, if you want to become a better communicator, you're already a good communicator, I promise you that. To become a better communicator, 1, analyze and understand what communication style do you possess, do you use. Number 2, there's nothing right or wrong. There's nothing higher, better communication style. Don't worry about it. Understand what your style is, test it. Test different communication styles in different situations, see what works, and do what works more often. That's it. That's how you can discover the better communicator within yourself. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Manjunath. You plus taking us in the journey of different communication style. And also, I have noted down on the media training for today night that will be on my list. Thanks so much. Let us give another round, big round of applause. Moving forward, before I call upon the second speaker, I would request this evaluator, Toastmaster Joseph to share his speech guide.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Timekeeper, please note the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. Our second speaker, she is an inspirational speaker, impactful corporate trainer, and a transformational coach. She is Bangalore's first woman distinguished Toastmaster, and she is first Indian to be profiled in TMI magazine in September 2011. She strongly believes in effective communication for achieving the impossible and endorses what Napoleon Hill says, what the mind conceives and the heart believes you can achieve. Her take on today's theme is, if you have the heart to help and give back to others, I feel confidence is not needed as it just flows out. The best part, we too can enrich and grow in the process. I welcome distinguished Toastmaster Sumitra ma'am for a second speech.
Thank you, George, for that heartwarming introduction. All of you, us present here, will definitely like to go to heaven, isn't it? Yeah. But how many of us really know what we need to do to go up there? A very good evening, my fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Good evening. Today, I'm going to share a story with you that would enlighten you and help you gain entry to heaven after death. It was a sunny, bright day. The river was gently flowing by, and under a huge, sprawling banyan tree sat Gautama Buddha, preaching to all his followers. Suddenly, an inconsolable young man burst onto the scene, sobbing profusely. The calm, compassionate Buddha asked him, "Why are you sobbing so profusely, son?" "I lost my father yesterday." So Gautama Buddha asked him, "Will all this crying bring him back?" "I know that. But after all the rites and rituals we did so meticulously, and the saints and the holy men and alms gatherers prayed, they were unable to ensure his entry into heaven. I know you're a powerful man, and you can definitely help my father enter heaven." Gautama Buddha realized this man will not be convinced if I tell him that I'm unable to help you. So he thought of a different method. He called it. He said, "Come." He said, "Get me 2 earthen pots." The man's face lit up and saw a ray of hope and rushed to bring the earthen pots. He was back in a jiffy, and then looked up expectantly at Gautam Buddha and said, "Now what next, my lord?" He said, "Fill one pot with pebbles and fill the other with butter." He did it most excitedly. Again looked up at Gautam Buddha and said, "Now what next?" He said, "Now close the mouth securely." He did that. And then Gautam Buddha told him, "Go and leave it in the river." And both the pots sunk down. "Now what do we do next?" asked the young man. Gautam Buddha said, "Go get a strong stick." He was super elated. He said, "Definitely my father will go to heaven," he said. He came back. Luckily he found the stick very close by. And it reminded him of that ritual where the corpse is kept on the pyre, the sun lights the pyre, and as the body is burning, a stick, the skull is broken open to signify the gates of heaven opening up to allow the soul of the dead man go to heaven. He was really excited. He came back. "Now go and break those 2 pots," Gautam Buddha said. So he went. Everyone was curious to see what would happen. Everyone was gathered there in the river. And then the butter came out. And then Buddha told this man, "Now go bring all those priests, those holy men and those alms gatherers, and let them chant and get those pebbles sent up to heaven." He looked at Gautam Buddha. "Are you joking, my lord? How can those heavy pebbles be brought up and sent to heaven? That's the universal law, isn't it?" he said. Gautam Buddha said, "That's great, son. You seem to know the universal laws. Now tell me, how can your father, who had committed such heavy evil deeds and vices, how can all your prayers and all lift him up to heaven?" The young man didn't know where to look. He was so ashamed, he put his head down and slowly walked away. So, my dear friends, now we know that if we live a life where our actions and deeds are light and help others, we can definitely go to heaven. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sumitra ma'am. I was completely engrossed with the story. Also to know the visa to go to heaven, what all we need to do. Thanks a lot. Again, we'll give a big round of applause. Before we go to the second part, we'll take 1 minute of break to cast the vote. I think means 1 minute of thing to cast a vote. I think we should be circulated. Excuse me. Yeah. So we'll continue. Okay. So we move on to the second most exciting session. So. Yeah, okay. We shall take 5 to 10 minutes of break. I think 10 minutes? Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay, we'll take 10 minutes of break and we'll come back. So timer, please note. Thank you. Welcome back. So, I think this is not required. session, the second round. So I'd like to introduce our table topic master today. He is a professional who ever chases an educational goal. He is a construction engineer with a master in business management. He is currently pursuing his PhD in project management. Member of multiple Toastmaster club, he is passionate about assisting fellow members, clubs and progress in his learning from all those interactions. His favorite quote, "Stop not till the goal is achieved," by Swami Vivekananda. And always he wants to break down his dreams into smaller so that he can quickly move to the next goal that motivates him. And the take on confidence to help another it's not constant. It depends on what and where assistance is needed. There are lots of con men and con artists. Hence I go by his mind and gut feeling. I welcome Toastmaster Nagesh Ramurthy sir on stage to take this exciting session forward.
Thank you, dear Modi, for that wonderful introduction. Courage fails us when we need it most. We are always in a situation, when we are in a difficult situation, the first thing that comes in our mind is a negative thought. We are in fear till we act on the current situation. But when we see others in such difficult situation, what comes in our mind is a positive thing. So, I'm going to give you certain situations and I want to see how you are going to show that courage to help others in those situations. You will have to show that courage between 1 or 2 minutes to us. Because 1 minute you will have a green card, 1.5 minutes you will have a yellow card, and red is your hand is up at 2 minutes. So we start this table topic with the speaker coming on the stage and then I give the topic. The first speaker that I want to come on the stage would be Pinto Singh. How would you react to a situation when your brother leaves a job to start a new business?
Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
How would I react when my brother leaves his job and starts a new business? I might have faced this situation with myself. I had my established business, which was in IT, where I was doing all my IT business, and had my passion of doing something great. When I told him I would like to do something new, so then we went for a dinner. He just called me for a dinner. Then he told me, yes, you please can do that with my support. Tell me what you need, we will support you. Financial to emotional to all kind of support, which he still doing. That's it.
It's always the emotional courage that we try to impart into others. Insert our courage into them when you get into the situation. Thank you so much for that, Pinto Singh. Next, I would like to call upon Preeti, Toastmaster Preeti, to come on the stage. How would you react when your friend says that his house is trembling because of the metro tunneling work?
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear friends, dear guests.
Good evening.
Even before coming here, I had told him I had spoken my part. I do not call me for the table topics, but yes. Now that I am given a topic, if my friend says his house is trembling due to metro, the first thing I would like to look into is how is it that the government did not take action, as far as I understand, if it's making or creating a metro near the residential area, there are laws to ensure that this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen as in they do not barge in the residential area. If it is so, then there are laws to counteract that. So I will first of all listen to him, understand his problem and think through the solution. I will suggest him to go to someone like Robinson sir, who can give you better ideas on legal issues and how he can save his home.
Thank you so much, Master Preeti, for that. Yes, I would have also given some amount of emotional courage, physical courage, and of course, intellectual courage into that person who feels that his house is trembling because of the metro trembling. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call upon, we don't have too many not so role takers here, but Toastmaster Bhavan, a speech crafter Bhavan, onto the stage. Your sister is scared of getting into the examination hall. You're with her. What would you tell her?
Thanks. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Like Sir said, I have a brother in real life, and he is also someone who's scared of exams and who's also scared of public speaking. Just the opposite of me. So before every exam comes, there is a sure set counseling session, and I am the counselor always. So I always tell him that I do not believe in reading or studying before, just one day before the exam, which he always does. So the only thing that I would tell such people is own up to what you've studied, be confident with what you've studied, and also when you get into the exam hall, do not worry, because you are not going to do anything big, because whatever you study is already over. So there's nothing that you can make a big change and all that. So I would emotionally boost him, mentally boost him. As a sister, I would give him confidence, and I would tell him to go rock and come back. Thank you.
Believe in yourself and you're almost halfway there, is what I understood from what you said, and the emotional courage that you tried to impart to your brother. Thank you so much for that. Next, I would like to call Martin Jose. You're traveling to the airport. Yeah. You're at Nepal, pouring down and your bus is gone. 30 minutes to reach the airport. What are you thinking?
Okay, first of all, good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests.
Good evening.
Considering it's Bangalore, I think walking would be the wisest option to reach the airport. But yeah, with only 30 minutes to go and my bus is stranded, it's a very difficult situation. I mean, since I'm on a bus to the airport, there's bound to be other passengers on that bus who are also making their way to the airport. So I would maybe talk to them and try to come up with a solution. What if we could take a cab that can go through smaller streets or weave through traffic or something like that. Or worst comes to worst, I miss my flight, take the next flight. Obviously not an option which I would want considering its financial implications, but still, when you're stuck in a situation like that, where you're just sitting there, there's nothing you can do, whatever can be done is already done. So that's when you really got to think about what is the worst that can happen, and if the worst happens, how am I going to face it? So in that case, if a cab doesn't work and if it's raining bad, roads are blocked, I'm just going to say, well, flight is gone. Whoever's waiting for me is going to have to wait longer if someone is waiting for me. So, yeah, that's it. And then make the most of the situation that follows. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin Jose. Courage is knowing not to fear. And you took what he said about initiative communication style, that you wanted to gather people and see if you can reach the airport with a cab. Thank you so much for that. Talking about emotional courage, thank you. Now I would like to call upon Alan if you have completed your evaluation. You have been just appointed CEO of Indian Airlines from Airlines. Your next steps.
He spoke about being assigned as a CEO, but it's a huge thing. But last week Hannah called me and said, you've been assigned to be a mentor for just 2 speech crafters. And I can't even think of being a CEO, but that was daunting, right? And I'm telling you, I'm sure the speech crafters were nervous. I was really, really nervous, right? So on first call, even though I've been a Toastmaster for such a long time, trying to mentor someone is an extremely challenging task. To bring out the best in you is one aspect, but trying to bring out the best in someone else, that is not one person but 2 people, can be quite a learning experience. And first you feel great about it. You think, I'm going to give this person a lot in terms of learning. But slowly you realize that there is so much you have to learn. And there's so much that the person you are mentoring can give you as a person. And for the last 2 months, if there's one thing that I've realized, is that you should also look at that aspect of what am I, gaining in terms of learning, And it's been a beautiful experience to try and mentor, someone. In fact, in a lot of ways, they have been kind of mentoring me, and it's been a very insightful experience. So tomorrow, if I ever happen to be the CEO of, an airline, these are the learnings that I probably will take place. I actually would have been a CEO of Air India if it didn't get taken over by Tata, but now that's happened, I think they're probably in safe hands. Thank you so much.
You talked more about giving intellectual courage to your speech crafters and to yourself. Thank you so much for that. Knowing yourself and be authentic and being courageous. Thank you for that. Now may I call upon Pranavi to take the stage. You're with your mother in a bustling marketplace and suddenly you lose sight of her. What courage, what comes into your mind?
I'm going to first remind, good evening everybody. First I'm going to remind myself that I'm not a 5-year-old and I can actually find my way around this place. And once I get that sense of calm, the next thing I'm gonna do is probably look around for her. That seems like the most sensible thing to go and do. And if I still don't find her, probably pick up my phone and call her. But if she doesn't answer, then I'll just probably meet her back at home, I guess. I don't know. But the worst case scenario is something that I have to think of, somebody maybe took her or whatever, kidnapped her, then yeah, my mind usually goes to the worst case scenario. A lot of the time I think of the worst of the worst. Then probably the police would be like the next best call, but first I'm not gonna think that far ahead. Probably just look around and remind myself I'm not a 5-year-old, so I have the calm mind to take the next step forward. Yeah, I think that would be
How wonderfully she opened it saying that I'm not a 5-year-old kid. I was waiting what is coming next. Thank you. Now can I call upon guest Sasi on the stage? It's not raining outside, but just imagine you're leaving this club and it's pouring outside. You have a flat tire. Very good.
Very good evening to all of you.
Good evening. Good evening.
So it is raining outside. I have a flat tire. So what will I do? So first what I would think is how I can park my car safely somewhere. Okay? And I will thank God that luckily I have a car. I didn't bring my scooter. So then what I would have done if I had brought my scooter. Okay? So there is one beautiful saying that goes like this: look to the sunshine of the life and you won't see the shadow. And I'm a person who does that always. Okay? So that is why I said I would think that luckily I have a car. So I love to see the rain. So make the maximum out of what you are having. So it is beautiful to see the rain pouring out. So I will sit in the car and wait for the rain to settle. Okay? So as the rain pours down, that will cool my thoughts, that will make me more relaxed. Then I will know what to do. So then I will take my phone to call somebody. I will call my husband, see he is there, he is always there. So I'll call him. Probably he will give me a solution. He will tell that where I can park my car and how I can take one alternate vehicle, or he will arrange for an alternate vehicle. I will come home, relax. That's it. Thank you so much.
Not an iota of fear in a difficult situation. You are full of physical courage and emotional courage. And yes, I like what you said. Face the sun, shadow will be behind you. Thank you so much for that. Now, the next speaker I would like to call is Puneet. You're busy studying in the library, and your classmate comes and proposes. Oh, it's a indicator.
I've spent a lot of time in a library. My God, the shadows. It would be beautiful. Yeah. I think the library is a perfect setup to be proposed in. It's quiet, there's nobody to disturb you. If she says a no, it's not a big deal. If I say a no, it's not a big mayhem for her. But it's beautiful to be proposed in the library. I would be floored. And I would love it if she is a good writer and she does it in a poetic way. Wow. And I should actually say this. The library that I studied at Christ University was on the 9th floor. So in the evenings, you could see the skylight of Koramangala. And, oh, this is a beautiful spot to go on a date on if you're at Christ. There's, at 8ish, just before the library closes, there's some Air Force thing that happens way away. So they shoot 2 beams of light to the sky. And in the library, there's a specific place where you can sit and watch that. 2 spot of lights going to the sky and the entire skylight of Koramangala. That would be a really good spot to be proposed at. So if you're around, you know where to propose me. I hope Christ hasn't blocked that spot after I've been there for so long. Yeah, but I would like that. If you really propose, might as well create a beautiful fantasy and make it happen in the library. Yeah. And I hope our book taste matches, or else it will be boring otherwise. Over to you, Maggie.
Completely forgot about studying. Full of emotional courage, she was blown away. Thank you. I'm still smiling. Yeah, I'm remembering my colleagues. Now, the next person I want and request to take on stage is Hannah. At Dubai airport, you are in transit. Your husband is suddenly searching for his passport. What are your thoughts?
A very good evening once again to all of you. It's great to see you. If my husband loses his passport and we are at transit, I would quite freak out, honestly, because the situation would be more or less I would have lost it because he's quite very careful with his things. I am the one who loses, and I would basically keep things and not remember where I've kept it, and we will go frantically searching for that thing, whereas it would be in a safe place, but I wouldn't remember it. So a situation like this, if it arises, it would have been me, and I would freak out. He would be calm and say, Hannah, look here, Hannah, look there. I would say, no, it's not here, it's not here, it's not there. So it will be a situation I would be calm only once I get it. I will not sit down and think where exactly I would have kept it. I don't have that in me, but my husband does. So so he's the calm one, and he tells me, relax, you just relax. But no, I will pull out everything, throw everything, and till I find what I'm searching for. In this case, if it's the passport, I would have ripped the entire suitcases, everything I would have ripped out. So, but I'm sure we would have made it on time. There are so many situations in my life where nick of the time I would have gone, either be it in an airport or anywhere. Right at, if the boarding was at say 5 o'clock, maybe by 4:50 or 4:55 I would be in. So it's whatever situations we face. So finally, I will be okay. I got it. I went through this turmoil, but I got it. So that's how it is. Thank you.
That's what I started with. When you're in a difficult situation, you panic. I'm sure many of us have gone through such situation where we panic instantaneously when we are not so comfortable. Now, next topic I want Vishal to take up. Your friend calls you up and says that he has lost his car. What would you say?
Good evening, everyone. My friend calling me to tell me that he lost his car. I'd ask him to run to the police station because honestly, I don't know what else I can do. But I will be with him because probably the person who lost the car is going to be me. My friend is not going to lose the car. I will lose the car and I will call him. But the best course of action would be to call the cops and file an FIR or go through with the procedure and probably claim an insurance or whatever it is that you have to do next. There's not much you can do after your car has been stolen unless you're smart and you have a GPS tracker in your car. So just stop thinking about what that you've lost your car and start thinking about what you should do is what I would do. If that made any sense, because I don't know what I'm speaking at this point. And over to you, table topic master.
You're a man with full of courage. I'm sure you have a lot of faith. Thank you so much for what you said, Toastmaster Richard. I still have time for one more topic. Nazni. In your office, your colleague who is working in your team on the project is fired.
Good evening, Toastmasters and valued guests.
Good evening.
First of all, I wouldn't see the situation in my office because in our office we believe that we stand for each other. Without any reason, nobody can be just fired like that. And in today's world, everybody knows the right to information. Why he or she is fired, I would support my team member because I have a team, dedicated team, who is a team named Synergy. It is true. My team's name is Synergy and we support each other. And I feel that if any challenges appear in your life, you can face it boldly if you have the courage. If you don't have the courage, go and speak to the person, the concerned person, and ask him or her what was the reason that he or she was fired. If it was a relevant reason, definitely I would support my team lead. Otherwise, I would definitely support my team member and always be there for him because I believe a friend indeed in need is a friend indeed. Thank you so much.
I heard two things loudly, Nazni. One is this energy. Secondly is the courage to continue and be with your team members. Thank you for letting me know about that. With that, I hand over the stage back to
Thank you very much, sir, for bringing this very innovative and thought-provoking, like real-life experience. I could see every speaker can bring out their own stories. Whenever I get table topic master, I used to Google and bring out this. I'm sure I don't get this one because it's all your life experiences. Thanks a lot. Let us give a big round of applause to. Speakers in table topics, they brought a genuine vibes, bringing very positive stories. Let us give a big round of applause to all the. Okay, so now moving into the evaluation, which is the final round, which much awaited round. So in this round, very constructive feedback is given to each speaker as well as the overall meeting conduct, so that members can benefit from the evaluation of the experience of the evaluators, right? And become a better speakers. For this, I'll hand over to General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Lalit. Just one note I forgot to mention that please cast your vote for the best table topics speaker, and the passport is 1294. Thank you. And over to you, General.
Okay, I'm going to give you about 10-15 seconds to go for that, and then we will clap. a wonderful round of applause. It's extremely encouraging. However, hello everyone. We come to the last leg of this wonderful meeting, which is the evaluation session. So today I will be giving my feedback to all the role takers and everybody present here, and I hope my feedback will serve its purpose. First of all, I would like to begin with the first person who came on stage, our Sergeant at Arms, Keerthana. Keerthana, I have known you for some time now, and I know if there's one quality that you speak with, that's with absolute belief and conviction. So you are a person who speaks what you believe in, you don't speak anything extra. However, one thing you must also remember when you're coming on stage is with conviction, you also need something else to back it up. And that I feel is true power. What do I mean by power? Conviction added with energy becomes power. So I felt when you were starting with the meeting, I know a few role takers were not there. I know everything would have not been in place like you wished for. However, I think a little more energy would have really taken it a notch higher. Now let me give you a small example. You also, like whenever you have that energy in you, what happens is it translates to the words you use. You introduce the president as a good person. I think he's a great person. Right? You see the difference? The moment I say great, it already gives him a superlative. So if you put in the right words, it can really make the right effect. And when you were introducing him, only the last two words that you were saying had high energy. For example, let's call Srijit on stage, right? Only that was high. So if you could keep that high throughout, I think you would have really taken it from good to great automatically. On that note, I must say you've been doing a fantastic job being the SAA. Just add in a little more energy and I'm sure you will get the power you definitely desire. A huge round of applause for this. My dear friend Srijit, you've been a fantastic president from the time go, and even to be encouraging to all the members who are role takers today, in fact on the call, you were the one who encouraged me to come despite the heavens opening up. However, I must say, whatever you've done in the last few weeks and in the couple of months you've been president has been absolutely fantastic, and it's not easy to go one meeting offline and come back to another meeting online, and you've been doing that so really well. A huge round of applause for that. Srijit, a couple of suggestions, a couple of technical suggestions that I think you could really add was one thing I felt you did not so correct was opening the meeting. Now, what usually happens in a Toastmasters meeting is first you ask the secretary to come and read out the minutes, and if the minutes stand past is when you use the gavel to open the meeting. That's the protocol. However, it went vice versa, and I'm sure you will change it within the very next meeting. Apart from that, Srijit, I really believe sometimes there can be a gap when you're thinking and when you're speaking. And I think sometimes you tend to face that. And when I was listening to you towards your 8th minute, you spoke for 12 minutes in continuous, what happened was there was an abrupt pause. Right? Now, maybe this abrupt pause is something that you're used to. So my suggestion is don't get your script on to a by-hearted level. Instead, use a mind map or use pictures to make it easier. The other thing is when you have a pause, at least smile. It makes it much more easy for everybody. But if you pause and you don't have an expression with a poker face, what happens is people think that you've lost what you have to say. So with this little suggestion, I think you can go a very far way. And you took about 13 minutes, considering we have the luxury of time today, that was absolutely fine. So a huge round of applause for our president. One small recommendation to our secretary. I know as committed as you were to your job, I think you were more committed to the mask you were wearing. Because every time you came on stage, I felt the mask was covering your beautiful smile, especially when you were reading out all the minutes with such expression and you were giving such superlative adjectives to each person who took the role last week. So I personally think removing your mask can go a far way because it really tends to cover your face. But if you could do that much, I think again it would be fantastic. So a round of applause for the wonderful job you did. Now, moving on to the previous role taker, Toastmaster Nagesh, who was our wonderful table topic master. First of all, I must compliment you for the kind of topics you chose, because not many times do you see in Toastmasters people coming up with situations. Usually it's a quote or usually it's a well-versed phrase. But you came up with situations and you put people in that thinking spot, for which I want to give you a huge round of applause, which nobody... made people comfortable most of the times, apart from Hannah, because I know Hannah admitted she was authentic enough to come on stage and say, hey, I'm the one who's usually nervous, but only I felt you were a little discriminate towards Hannah, where you said, Hannah, I spoke about not being nervous or something like that. I personally felt there was no positive reach to Hannah once she left, but for everybody else, you did quite well. Now, what are some of the things, sir, that you could add into your table topics that could take it to a really far way? Is number one, when you have a topic like situations, when it's based on situations, you could build some context before people come on stage. Now, what do I mean by building context? First of all, tell your audience what is coming their way. This is not a competition. It is where we practice, right? Tell them that your table topics today will be based on situations. So already they are prepared in their head. Second, also tell them how to crack it. That means give them a methodology as to how they can come on stage and actually speak for an entirety of 2 minutes or at least 90 seconds. Because we had a couple of people who were quite new on stage, or people who could be a little nervous to come on stage. So what happens here is you're giving them a confidence, you're giving them a small little trick in the book that they could come and use to actually speak for a longer time. That builds confidence into a lot of speakers coming here for the very first time. Last suggestion that I could give you is, whenever you were speaking so eloquently, but what took it away was the fact that you were clasping your hands throughout. Every single word throughout your table topics was just in this position, and usually you were scratching your own head. Now, your words had a lot of confidence, the way you spoke had a lot of confidence, but what gave it away that you were a tad bit nervous was your clasping of your hands. Usually in the animal kingdom, this is what happens. If you make yourself look smaller, that means you're actually really scared. But if you make yourself comfortable, look larger, like for example, they say if a grizzly bear is charging towards you, the first thing you do is expand your hands and shout. Right? The reason is, making yourself look a little bigger is always a sign of confidence. So I think that one small thing could have made all the difference. However, I still think you did a fantastic job in terms of acknowledging every single person, and your topics were bang on the money. So a huge round of applause for our table topics. Now before I go to the TOD, let's quickly begin with my lovely evaluators. We'll start with Toastmaster Alan, who is evaluating Toastmaster Manjunath. Over to you, Alan.
So firstly, I'd like to start with what the purpose of the speech was. Now, the purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. But more importantly, it is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. Now, having reiterated these purposes, I must tell you, Manjunath, you were very interactive, which is amazing, right? You ask people, they put up their hands, great. You have a good grasp over the English language, which is always a great advantage. You had great eye contact, you looked at everybody, and for a small audience, you made everyone feel that they were looked at, right? You had great body language as well. And what really helped was the fact that you were well attired, made you all the more presentable. Now, having said that, these are some of the things that I felt that you should work on, but more importantly, I'll get back to the purpose of your speech. Now, when you came on, you spoke about 2 communication styles. You spoke about initiating and supporting, and then went on to give examples. I would have, according to me, on my personal suggestion would have been, give the example, try and make the audience figure out what you're trying to say, and then reveal that it's initiating and supporting. It's a much better way of revealing what you're trying to say. The other aspect of your speech was you, in the middle of trying to talk about initiating and supporting, you went into, don't think I'm bragging, but I think I'm a digital marketer, and you went on to other aspects of quoting some people. Now what that essentially did was it took away from your speech and from your primary communication styles. There were examples that were not relevant to what you were talking about, and which is why you overshot your time allotted by 1 minute 33 seconds, right? If you had avoided doing that, you would have been well within your time allotted to you. Having said that, more importantly, now this comes to the crux of what I'm trying to say. The purpose of the speech was for you as a member to share the impact of your style on others. Now, what happened towards the latter half of your speech was it became a report on the content of understanding your communication style, which what you essentially did was you seemed to emphasize it to a larger audience, and that defeated the overall purpose. Based on these reasons, one for overshooting the time and one for not really achieving the purpose of your second, not achieving your second purpose, I would urge you to repeat or try this speech in this club or another club, following these suggestions, and if you can put it between 5 to 7 minutes and look at the overall impact of your speech, I think it will come out well with all the wonderful qualities you already have. Best of luck to the speaker. Over to the general.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan, for your wonderful feedback. I will reserve my comments for both the evaluators towards the end. Over to Toastmaster Joseph Paul to evaluate our distinguished Toastmaster Sumitra Mann.
Thank you, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, and DTM Sumitra ma'am in particular. First of all, I must say that it's a great privilege and honor to be evaluating a speech given by you. That's wonderful. And coming to the evaluation part, first things first, the speech title, Visa to Heaven. I think it's very intriguing and it captured our interest, and your introduction was also in line with the speech title. And so it really generated and reinforced that interest. I think that was very well done. And nothing I must say is, I think you are tired, because when you're a storyteller, you need to get the attention and attraction of the audience. And I think the pleasant colored shirt, I loved it very much. That was very, I think you had it very fittingly worn it. Now coming to the content and delivery of the speech. For storytelling, I think the delivery is very important, especially the aspects of public speaking like clarity, vocal variety, gestures, which will really help you to generate and keep the interest of the audience. I think you did it wonderfully well, because right from the start, when you welcomed us all with a smile, you kept that smile on, and the body language, I think, was very apt. And the words used, I think that is very commendable, because it gave a very vivid description. So that was very good, very well done. And coming to the content part, I would say for a story, two important aspects are, one is the premise of the storyline and another one is the characters. Now coming to the characters, you had just mainly two characters, Gautam Buddha and the young man. So it was very simple, and the storyline similarly, the premise was very simple. You didn't have too much of a content, but I think what made the difference was the impact it made, because the message that you gave, the universal law and about living a life which is light and truthful, I think that was the icing on the cake. And so we really didn't feel something very heavy but the message that was given was brilliant. I think it was a wonderful way to give, and that exemplified the skills you have in storytelling. Now, one suggestion if I may have is that maybe you could have tried with a different vocal variety or tone for the characters, but then I think you did otherwise very well, so it did not dilute the effect of the story, especially the character sobbing. I think it was wonderfully done. Now, I'm sure that all of us are aware that the attention span of people in general are coming down over the years, and the art of storytelling is really going down, and I think a master storyteller like you, ma'am, is something that is a blessing for all of us, so that we keep this art revived and generate more interest in people. Thank you, it was a wonderful speech. Over to you, Chintan.
Thank you both evaluators for such a lovely evaluation. I think each of you are seasoned and experienced in your own little ways. Now, if I have to add something to the level of evaluation that both of you did, one thing is beginning with Alan. Alan, you very well established the purpose of the speech once, but I think it went a couple of times extra when you went on towards the end of your evaluation as well. However, that also means that what happens here is you're taking away some amount of precious time. Rather, I can give you a tip of this specific format that is quite commonly used in Toastmasters, which is called ARTS. It's called Analysis, Recommendation, Technicality, and Summary. If you could go in this specific order, it brings a lot of ease to the person who you're trying to evaluate, and I think it makes your evaluation much more credible. On that note, a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Alan. Moving on to Toastmaster Jose. I think Toastmaster Jose has evaluated my speeches multiple times as well. One thing I really like about him is no matter who he is evaluating, you will feel this wonderful warmth about him, and no matter how great his speech or how terrible your speech was, he will still make you feel like $1 million. For that, I must say you're a very optimistic man. A huge round of applause for that. I think it is because of evaluators like you that got me going in my initial days, and today I stand so proud and tall here because of people like you who are so re-encouraging and reinforcing. However, sir, I think one thing, I feel a compliment is fine, but too many compliments can be too much. I know Sumitra ma'am is a master storyteller, but I also wish a master storyteller would get a master evaluation from you, because you are one. One area where I felt was you could, I feel, go a little more harder on Toastmaster, DTL Sumitra Manohar, just to show that everybody has room for improvement, nothing else. But I think your evaluation and your speech was right on the money. So huge round of applause for all the speakers and speakers. Now, okay, one point I missed out. So one point would be that you said suggestion. In fact, if we could change the word suggestion to recommendation, there's a lot of difference here. Suggestion is, hey, this is what you shouldn't have done. You could do it better. However, recommendation is, hey, I will show you how it's done. That's the small little difference, but I think that was the only thing I had for you, nothing else. Again, thank you so much. Let's move on to the final person that I've kept waiting. That is our TMOD, George. George, first of all, a huge round of applause for you. For the very first time on stage. I know it's your second time being TOD, but today you've come on stage, and to do it for the very first time is not an easy job. So you are well versed in doing all specific roles, and I think the only thing that's waiting for you is a general evaluator's role. Right? So George, first of all, I love the way you use story. Vijay Anand so famously always quotes, data tells, story sells. That the simple reason is because stories have emotion, and emotions is how we connect to people. So very well done. You immediately started with your own story, which I absolutely love. Second, I also realized that you did not pick up your supporting sheets at the initial part of your speech, but however, as you progressed is when you took over with a bunch of A4 sheets that you have in your hand. Now, a small recommendation would be, in the public speaking world, if you're a TOD, you would have seen in a lot of these award ceremonies, right? They use something called as a flashcard. So use a small little flashcard which looks classy and is very handy to carry around. You can even put it in your pocket, and I think that's a very easy way to do it. So just you can make it out of your own KG cardboard. Second part is, if I can give you some recommendations with your permission, is you are very nice to people, but however sometimes nice could also mean a little soft. Now what do I mean by taking it to the next step? Use your energy, right? When you were welcoming the speaker, you said, let's welcome the next speaker, Toastmaster Alan, right? How about this? Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one and only Alan. I'm not saying you have to do it like me, but it's okay to go at your own pace, but increase your energy. The moment you increase your energy, always remember, energy could be transferred, right? What energy you're speaking with could always give a great boost of confidence for the person coming on stage, right? So give that a huge smack of energy, and I'm sure it will give the person coming on stage a huge boost. I also love your sense of humor. There were small, tiny bits of subtle humor which you were trying to crack, and sometimes you did not even expect it, but it still cracked. That's the beauty about humor, right? And I think if you focus and if you put your things together, you could be a great humorous speaker. I think that's one of your strengths. I don't know if you realize it yet. I also love your introduction questions. I was also given those. So I really think it was a very nice way to connect your introduction questions to all the theme, the quote that people like. So I really love the way you've taken this first step, and I think a journey of 1,000 miles begins with that one step. On that note, a huge round of applause for our TMO. It's been quite some time that I've come on stage here. It feels absolutely alive to come on stage. I love the stage, and today my work, my passion, my profession, and my possible future is on this stage. I must thank Bangalore Toastmasters not only for giving me this opportunity, but for giving me opportunities since the time I was 18. It's been 7 years since I've been a Bangalore Toastmaster. Thank you so much for each and every one of you for being so lovely. And I'm saying this because you came here despite the rains. And that simply speaks volumes of who you are and what this club is. A huge round of applause for all of you. Keep up the spirit, and I'm sure people who come and join here with the hope of not only losing their fear of speaking on stage, but I'm sure they'll also become champions one day. On that note, thank you so much, committee, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And I will not forget my lovely tag team. It's been quite some time that I've done this, so forgive me for that. Shall I call upon my timer to quickly read out, only the ones who took excess time?
The meeting was started sharp at 6:30. In the prepared speech, Toastmaster Manjunath exceeded by 1 minute 33 seconds. Evaluators, Toastmaster Alan exceeded by 47 seconds. In table topics, most of them spoke within time except Pintu Singh, who spoke within 1 minute, and Toastmaster Vishal, who spoke within 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanjana. A round of applause for us. Let's call upon our counter, the ever optimistic Robinson, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters. Mr. Suraj, we were so 11 times, okay 5 times. Mr. Manjunath, okay 6 times, so twice, all right. Madam Sumitra, only one phrase. It was a, you repeated it. Martin Jones, okay, or 4 times, I mean twice. What if you could? Twice, so 4 times. Alan, you know 9 times. Twice each. Sissy Jones, you are coming after a long time, you remember earlier. So 5 times, okay 4 times. Hannah, so again 8 times. And, but, till I, okay twice, right? Vishal, okay, twice, you said. Mr. Jospal, I think 5 times, so twice. Mr. Ali, you frequently use I think. I suggest you think of some of the no. I'm saying no. instead of repeating the same phrase, I think or I feel, second time we use it. And then we have. Then so, that's all. Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. Robinson sir reminds me of my school director. Because, you know, I feel, whichever club you're in, you need a Robinson sir in that club. Because a person to have such a keen eye on all these details is not easy. Our counter looks easy to just put a few lines and, mark it, but to have such a keen eye, thank you so much sir for your lovely recommendation. A huge round of applause. Let's quickly move on to our grammarian, Toastmaster Nazim.
And guests, it was a pleasure listening to your speeches. I'm back to the reading part as a grammarian. The good news is, created ripples back in jiffy. Result, heaven. Face the sun, shadow will be behind you. Bank on money. Meanwhile, I would like to point out some of the word and sentences that can be improved on. Which still doing is actually which he is still doing. Join me and my family, joined my family. Confidence raises, confidence rises. News, I heard the news. Starting days, when I started at Toastmasters. In April 16, on April 16, myself and my wife and I. L is hell. Change, courage is encouraged. He given beautiful insight, he gave great insight. One suggestion I would like to give to all the Toastmasters is, it's a very thin line between pronunciation and your accent. So work on it. Definitely you'll have more speeches, better speeches, and Toastmasters, kudos to you. Always optimistic, just like the word of the day. And the word of the day was used by a Mr. President once, Toastmaster CM Manjunath once, DTM Lalit Ganesh once. Can we have it for all of them?
Before I call my listener, just a heads up, the voting link is right up there, so the password is the same. So continue to quickly vote as I call upon our listener, Dr. Mohan Kumar. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My job is to note down the interesting words and phrases. Firstly, I want to tell this: who forgot the cupboard key?
Kirtana.
This week we are celebrating Dasra and Ayat Pule. Who said this?
Srijit.
Fear of others' opinion. Who said this?
George.
Srijit. Who was shy and introvert?
Srijit.
Who mentored Srijit?
Varun.
Correct. Helping might not change the world, but will change the world of one person.
Both of them, Srijit as well as the TMOD.
TMOD. Correct. Then, who took the name of Dr. Ralph Medley? TMOD, correct. Who told about two great tips? Then whose name appeared in Toastmaster magazine in September 2000. Our action, with our good action, we can go to heaven. Who said that?
Same.
Courage fails us when we need it most. Nagesh. I don't believe in reading one day before exams. Reach the airport through cab.
Martin.
Okay. Look to the sunshine of life, not the shadow.
Mrs. Joseph.
Who completely forgot to study? Use your energy or increase your energy. Okay, thank you.
Fantastic job as a listener. Just one recommendation, if I may. It just felt like you went through chronological order, so it was very easy for me to just look at the itinerary and guess people. Next time, just jumble that up, and I think you'd have more people confused. Thank you, sir, and a huge round of applause for our listeners. On that note, I'd like to hand it over to the TMOD.
What a great session and what a clinical evaluation. Feedback is a breakfast for champions. We had a very good dinner, I could say. So I have many things to take away. So a very big round of applause to the evaluation team. And with closing, I thank you so much for giving this opportunity for this role. It was a great learning experience, and I'm taking away many areas which I need to work on. For sure, I'll work on. Thank you so much for that. With this, a short note that water link is put across for the best goal taker. Please take some time and cast your vote. And again, the passcode is 1294. With this, I will hand over to President Sri.
Thank you, Toastmaster George. Thank you, Toastmaster George, for conducting this meeting flawlessly and with a lot of energy. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the speakers and role takers. You could make this meeting, and with your effort, we could have this meeting today, and really appreciate all your effort. And Lalit, you told that you were very not so interested in physics, but I heard you were talking a lot about energy, and your speech, everything is about energy. Great, because your evaluation session taken it to next level through your energy. Thank you so much for making it. So next week we have online our club level contest. Those who have not registered, requesting you to register for that evaluation and table topic contest. So please do that. Then next, yes, I have to wait for the awards certificates. So till that, I will ask Bhavani, how did you feel this meeting? I think first time you are attending a Toastmaster meeting.
Great, and I failed to use the word of the day, so.
Oh, that's okay.
No, sir, I'm using it now. So
Yeah.
it was a sanguine atmosphere to be here.
That's very good. I think Justin Jose now is the one person who didn't speak in this row. I think everybody else spoke. So Justin, you can just stand up and whom you like, father or your mother?
Father, because he doesn't tell me to study.
That is how we learn from children, that they give reason, and that's he told father and reason also. Why he likes it. Excellent, thank you so much. Now our result is, yeah.
When he introduced himself, he said, "My father has brought me here." And he continued to sit next to his father.
Nice, thank you. So now it's time for me to announce the winners of today's meeting. Best tackle team goes to Toastmaster Robinson. And the best role taker goes to DTM Lalit Dhanush.
Thank you.
Best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Joseph. Thank
If you don't mind. One small thing, because I've been coming here for years, but I have not got a certificate. So many roles that I have taken. Today I'm here with my family. Maybe that's the support I needed. But another thing is that when I go back from the next meetings, if I don't go back with the certificate, I'll possibly be land in trouble because they'll think I've not gone for the Toastmasters.
Speaker goes to our VP Education, Toastmaster Hannah.
If she loses it, her husband will help her find it.
And the best speaker, DTM Sumitra Manmohan. So with that note, I adjourn this meeting. Thank you everyone for making this meeting, and have a safe journey back home.